Hey there, it's Ben from Pattern Profits bringing you the weekend update and weekly watch list for the week of May 2nd. First, we're going to take a look at IWO here. This area acted as support back here, 231 to 233 range. You had support several times at the lows there, now acting as resistance. 1020 cloud on the way down to potentially meet price, even if we do see any kind of bounce here. Above there, you have Confluence 5065 cloud anchored VWAPs above. That area would be expected to act as resistance, even if we do get a bounce. Don't forget, we've got the Fed midweek, so likely to be a volatile week. If we take a look at FFTY, the IBD 50 broke lower here. You had 3428. That area was the prior low, broke below their gap below there, and still making new lows. Even if we do see a bounce there, expect that 3428 level that was support to now act as resistance. You got 1020 cloud right there as well. And if you push above there, there's multiple anchored VWAPs, 5065 cloud year to date anchored VWAP volume shelf, plenty of areas that may act as resistance above, but we have to see if they can even find the energy to bounce first. PDP looks a little bit different. This is an awful candle here on Friday, closed at the lows, but hasn't taken out the February low, 73.30. If we do see a bounce here, you've got 1020 cloud, 5065 cloud just above, and anchored VWAPs from off of the lows all right in this area. So expect that area to act as resistance. If we do somehow get a bigger bounce and see some buying into the Fed, perhaps up to this area, which is the year-to-date anchored VWAP, has acted as resistance several times. So we'll see how they act in a Fed week. Going to take a look at Merck first. MRK holding up really well. Cup with handle pattern came ripping out of that handle on Thursday. Good volume associated with it. Held that gain, most of it, on Friday in a very, very weak tape. 89.48, the standard pivot there. Wouldn't mind this going sideways a few more days, tighten up, let 1020 cloud catch up to price, and then push through. But again, held up very well, and just want to see if it can reclaim that 89.48 standard pivot. Just be aware you have 91.40, the prior high, on the other side. Again, that's Merck, MRK. Some of the REITs have held up well, and Weyerhaeuser setting up this kind of cup with handle pattern here. Cup put in the handle, tried to go on Friday, but weak session brought it right back into the 10 portion of 1020 cloud. 42.63, the standard pivot there. Like I said, tried to push through, came back in. Just want to see if it can regroup here, hold that 10 portion of 1020 cloud, and start to try to reclaim that 42.63 pivot. Again, if these, and we've seen so many fail up here and then roll over, 20 portion year to date anchored VWAP 5065 cloud lower if it chooses to come in and retest this area. In the same group, watching SHO, that's Sunstone Hotel. Kind of like how this one's setting up the right side. You've got a nice little cup pattern, cheap pivot here at 1272 with an inside day as well. This one also came right back to the 10 portion of 1020 cloud, but you see it's held the last few sessions. That 10 portion has served as support. Want to see if it'll do it again. Pocket pivot there up the right side. And again, this nice little rounded bottom to this coming up the right side, 1391. The prior high would be a nice run if it can push above that pivot, 1272, make a run back towards the prior highs. And again, the group acting well and looks good. A couple other names within the food industry. Pilgrims Pride, PPC setting up. Needs to put in maybe a little bit of a higher handle here. That's what this candle kind of hints to me. 29.18, the pivot. Just be aware it's part of a larger consolidation. 29.70 was a prior high over here. Had the gap down, but really nice reclaim there. And tried to push out and above that 29.18. Couldn't do so. Couple pocket pivots up the right side. Let's see if this goes sideways, tightens up here, and then pushes back through. In the same group, you have Sanderson Sanderson Farms, SAFM, setting up similarly, cup with handle pattern, 192.62 pivot there. And this again, this cup with handle right back into 1020 cloud on Friday. So many that look good and were acting well really got hit hard on Friday. So want to see how they act and if they can recover into the early part of next week. A lot of these names defensive. You'll notice not much growth. Pepsi doesn't get much more defensive than that. This kind of a straight up from the bottom move. Terrible day here on Friday, below 1020 cloud. Want to see, though, if that can quickly reclaim, push back above pivots. I was watching the May 180s. They were very aggressive on the call side last week. So we'll see if they come back for this week. But was looking good and even poked its head there above that pivot on Thursday and then completely melted, rolled over. Probably trapped a lot of longs here on this candle on Thursday and then rolled back over. So I'll be watching to see if this goes sideways, tightened up, maybe tries to push back through. On the other hand, if it really starts to break lower, there may be a short opportunity there as well. So we'll be keeping an eye on Pepsi, PEP. Another one, keeping an eye on MAR, Marriott. This little cup with handle pattern broke out of there nicely. Good volume, had a nice little run, and then came back in. You're right back into 1020 cloud there. 179.30 was the pivot. Want to see if this is able to consolidate here and make the turn. Reclaim that 179.30 pivot. Did hold the 20 portion of 1020 cloud both Wednesday, and you're above that on Friday too, despite a pretty ugly session. So we'll see if that can make a bounce there. Again, that's Marriott, MAR. In energy, if energy decides to stay hot, SWX, Southwest Gas Holdings, this flag pattern, and we've seen this multiple times. Flag into 1020 cloud, bounce. Flag into 1020 cloud, bounce. Flag into 1020 cloud, big bounce there. So looking at the same thing here, descending trend line, back below anchored VWAP from off of that high, that big candle into highs there. So we'll see if it can push up and out and kind of follow this same pattern that we've seen of these flags back into 1020 cloud and then bounce. Definitely quite extended from the base. So we just look for a quick punch out of that flag, breakout into new highs and capture those gains rather quickly. One more in the defensive group like we were talking about is a Vector Group. I like how this setting up cup handle came out of there, retesting that 1262 pivot. Light volume on this pullback on Friday. Want to see if that can push out there and get into this gap, start filling some of this up the right side here. So we'll be watching carefully if this 1020 cloud holds. I have anchored VWAP on that gap, big volume day there as well. It served as support here. We'll see if that does the same over here. And push up again. This gap, nice area here to fill in all the way up to like 16-17 area with it trading at 1272. And again, a very defensive group, VGR, and that tends to be the theme right now. The things that are working are quite defensive. That's all I have into the week ahead. Hope you have a great trading week, and I will see you over on FinTwit.